Hello guys and welcome to Stevie TV. This is Game Week 9 Premier League review. We're going to talk about all the games that happened over the weekend. Obviously I give my predictions and I've done pretty well, as you'll see as I go on with the chat, with this video, sorry. And Liverpool, they played Everton first. Liverpool won 2-0 and Ashley Young got a red card. This was initially a yellow issued to him, but it was then overturned by VAR, which was probably the wrong decision by VAR there. However, later in the game, VAR had to make another decision, where handball in the box by Everton players, and then that became a penalty, which Salah then converted and made it 1-0. Salah then went on to score the second goal with a great counter. I believe it was Nunez that assisted that one. But yeah, that finished 2-0. And I predicted that one to be 2-0. So that's one correct so far out of one. Next one we had Bournemouth versus Wolves. This was on the Saturday as well. Wolves won 2-1 in that game. Bournemouth got the first goal early, with Solanke. He opened the scoring with a little nice back heel kick into the net. That was a good start for them. Wolves then got one back early on in the second half with the Cunha goal. That was a first time shot and outside the box. Well finished. Lewis Cook later in the game then got a red card for having a heavy tackle on Chan. Chan then got back up in his face a little bit, and then Cook decided to headbutt him. It was barely anything, but he did make contact. And as usual with footballers, Chan's gone down like a sack of shit, really. And then led to a red card for Lewis Cook. So that was Bournemouth down to 10 men, sorry. Kaladzic then went on to get the winner to make it 2-1 in the 88th minute. So game over after that. I predicted a Wolves win there. I predicted 3-1, but 2-1 will do. So again, that's a second win on the bounce there for me. So that's 2 out of 2. Next up, we had Brentford versus Burnley. I had this down as a Brentford win, 2-1. I thought Burnley might be able to score, but it actually went on to be Brentford 3, Burnley 0. So again, got another winner in that, but I got the wrong score, but I'm going 3 out of 3 so far. In this game, Morpay got a goal disallowed initially. Visa then went on to open the scoring with a great assist by Mbuemo, who then went on to score the second goal with a great finish. Roberts got the second yellow card for Burnley, and Godos, with what I believe potentially might be the goal of the season so far, or one of the goals of the season so far. Got a shot from outside the box, great power. He knocks it in right off the post, good goal. Like I said, that's 3 out of 3 correct predictions so far. The next game is Man City versus Brighton. I went with a Man City win. I was expecting to score a lot more goals because Brighton can't keep a clean sheet. I thought City would get in behind them. I predicted 4-1, but City won 2-1. It was a harder game than they thought it would be. They initially went on to play quite well straight away, City. 7 minutes in, Doku assisted Alvarez to go 1-0 up. And then, of all people, Haaland finally gets his goal again. He's had a bit of a drought. Not a great, massive drought, but he's had a bit of a drought in terms of his goal scoring. And he made it 2-0. So that went into the second half with 2-0 up for Man City. Brighton then started to play a little bit better, got a bit more of the ball, frustrated City quite a lot. Ansu Fati then got a goal back for Brighton. So he's out on loan from Barcelona. What a great addition to that side of Brighton. And a good experience for Ansu Fati. But yeah, 2-1. Late on in the game, in the 95th minute, Akanji did go on to get a red card, and it was a bit silly, really. Didn't need to. It was 2 yellows, and it then led to the red card. Not necessary, and he's going to be I don't think he'll be as much of a miss as Rodri was. Obviously, Rodri is back in for City, but he will be a miss for Manchester City. They've got plenty of centre-backs, so I can't see it being too much of a struggle for Manchester City there, but he is going to be a player that is missed because he can be utilised in various different positions. Next game is Newcastle versus Palace. I think this is the 5th game. I went with a Newcastle win, and we got the Newcastle win. I went 1-0. However, it finished 4-0 Newcastle against Crystal Palace. I thought Crystal Palace would be able to hold them off a bit, give them a bit more, keep a bit more of a clean sheet, keep it tight at the back. Tonali, obviously all the rumours about him, all the gambling stuff that came out about it. He did play in the game, however he came off the bench, which is probably the best decision for Eddie Howe. Get him into the game rather than putting all the pressure on him straight away, all eyes on him coming into the game. It was a great decision. Jacob Murphy started the game and he did a nice lob over the keeper, and it was called offside initially, but after VAR got involved, it then became onside, which was a great decision by VAR. It's nice to see positives with VAR sometimes, even if we don't want it in the game. Then Gordon went on to miss a wide open net, which was obviously all fans would have been frustrated with that. But he did go and make up for that and get the second goal. Longstaff made it 3, and then Callum Wilson topped it off with a 4th goal. Nice 1-on-1, put it around the keeper, and finished 4-0. So that's 5 out of 5 so far with my predictions. So you should start putting bets on some of these predictions that I make, Should start putting bets on, because I'm starting to think I might be alright at this guessing game. Next up, we had Forest versus Luton. After saying everything I've just said about putting bets on me, I went for a Forest win here, 2-1. I got it right with Forest scoring 2 goals, however it finished 2-2 Forest and Luton. So Chris Wood breaks the scoreline with the nice 1-on-1 with the keeper, nicely slots it into the net. Then he goes and gets a second with a header. As you expect, Chris Wood scores headers when he gets in the right positions all the time, so he's the kind of player that you want in that box and getting on the end of the headers, and he did that, made it 2-0. Later on in the game, poor defending led to Luton's goal to get back into the game. Free kick came across, and Luton then got their 1 goal back to make it 2-1. And then it went 2-2 with Adebayo getting that 92nd minute equaliser, which obviously sent Luton fans into a bit of a frenzy. But it was at Forest ground, so points dropped, in my opinion, for Forest there. But we can only see by the end of the season if they're going to be important points, or if it's going to be an important point for Luton. So they're picking up the points, Luton, and we're not sure. I reckon they'll still go down, but they're giving up a fight already. They're giving up the fight, and I can see them going on to pushing for that relegation fight as well, the way they're going at the moment. So next game we have Chelsea versus Arsenal. This finished 2-2, and I said it would be a draw. So going into this game, I'm not sure if I thought it was going to be a 1-1 or a 2-2. I can't remember what I said in the video on Thursday, but it did finish a draw, and that's another prediction. You don't really get many draws that you guess right, so that's 6 out of 7 so far. And in this case, Chelsea actually went 2-0 up in this game. So Cole Palmer converted a penalty in the first half. Cole Palmer did have a great game going in that one, and he made quite a few chances. Should have probably scored 2 goals. Second goal came from Mudryk for Chelsea, who got on the inside with a chip over Raya, and that went in, leading to it being 2-0 Chelsea. Is it time for Ramsdale? Arsenal thinking right now. Should Ramsdale be the number 1 keeper, or should Raya? Let me know in the comments for this one. I'd like to know your opinions on it. I think Ramsdale should be their number one keeper. I was a bit shocked to hear the rumours that Raya was going to come in the first place in the summer transfer window. However, obviously he's now become the number one, or looks like the number one, but he's very, very shaky and he doesn't look confident at all. So I think Ramsdale should be the keeper that's in the net, and I don't see why after last season, maybe the one guy that cost them the points in the end, but I think he's a character on the pitch and it helps Arsenal a lot. As I mentioned, it did finish 2-2, so Arsenal got back into the game with a goal from Rice with an open net, left wide open really, about 30 yards out, almost 40 yards out, and then Saka went on to assist Trossard with the equaliser, and that finished 2-2 then, and again keeps Arsenal undefeated in the league so far, but it doesn't put them first. It didn't put them first because Spurs are currently sitting in first, so that'll take me on to that game which happened on Monday. Spurs won 2-0 against Fulham. So I expected a Spurs win. I thought it was going to be 3-0. So again, 7 out of 8 predictions. Spurs look amazing at the minute. Maddison and Son. That is all you have to say about that squad. There's a lot of working on the pitch, but Maddison and Son look outstanding at the moment. They are literally potentially the best players in the Premier League right now. I'd say they've probably got the most goals and assists and chances together. They've got the most points ever in a Premier League in the first 9 games. So Postecoglou, give yourself a clap there, mate. Pat on the shoulder, because you've absolutely smashed it with Spurs at this, and the fans are loving you at the moment. Son, he's a special captain. He doesn't feel the pressure of this captain's armband at all. I thought he would. He obviously struggled last season, but he's finding his form again. He's finding the back of that net. He helped Spurs get the first goal, individual goal, and then went on to score that one. And then Maddison, as I mentioned, he's unreal. Get them all both in your fantasy teams, because they are going to keep firing goals in and assisting those goals as well. So both of them absolutely smashing it. And Maddison went on to get the second goal, and that made it 2-0 Spurs against Fulham. We've then got Villa versus West Ham, and Aston Villa won 4-1 against West Ham. This is where I kind of went a bit wrong on my prediction here, so we're going to go 7 out of 9. I said a draw 2-2, and how wrong was I? Villa were all over West Ham. Douglas Luiz started the scoring. Keeper should really do better on there, but Douglas Luiz took a shot from outside the box, smashed it across the ground, and just manages to have enough power on it, and it just gets past the keeper. Then Luiz makes it 2 with a penalty, which was the right decision. It definitely was a penalty. Went down a bit lightly, but it was the correct decision. Bowen then gets a goal back for West Ham. West Ham fans start to think they're going to get back into a game. That goal was deflected, but it is another away goal. We mentioned the away goals that Bowen scored this season in the preview, and he continues to get these away goals. It's not enough though, as Watkins then makes it 3-1 on the keeper's near post. He absolutely smashes it in the net, and West Ham don't know what to do with it. Watkins' pace, his decision making, his timing, he knew exactly what he was doing going into that box, and the confidence he's got at the moment is another one that you want in your fantasy Premier League teams. I've got him, and I've got Son, and I've got Maddison, and that's helped me massively, and Son's going to help me massively going forward, because I made sure he was in my squad going forward. But back to the game, Bailey then makes it 4-1. And Aston Villa actually sit 5th currently in the league. And at the beginning of the season, I wouldn't have put them there. Maybe about 9th, 8th, but 5th in the league. They're doing very well under Emery. And let's see how long it can continue for. Last game now, is Manchester United versus Sheffield United. It was at Bramall Lane, so we'll say Sheffield United versus Manchester United. And that finished 2-1 to Manchester United. I said a Manchester United win. I thought they were going to get a clean sheet. As you can tell, United fan that I am. I'm always confident that we should win, but we have to be realistic. And 2-1 was probably the right decision. And we're not playing well. We are not playing well. With the 3 points, that's fine. But we are not playing good football. And I am starting to think this is the way that Ten Hag wants to play football. Yeah, I think the players need to improve massively. But I think Ten Hag wants us to have this ball at the back, passing it around, then get it forward. However, we're making all our mistakes in the middle, defence, and the goalkeeping errors. And it just doesn't look good. We're letting them have the ball in the possession, hoping that they'll make a mistake so we can go and get the counter because we have the great attackers, or a great attackers getting forward, the pace. But it's not working, and something needs to change. I don't think it's the manager that needs to change, but it looks like it could be. But this win is our first back-to-back wins this season, and that says everything about our season so far. McTominay again getting a goal. Another topic that we can talk about is our midfielders are top goal scorers. What's that saying about our attackers at the minute? Where's Rashford? Obviously, we've had Anthony gone out for a bit. We've had Sancho out for a bit, and probably gone out the door. Garnacho, a great player, too young at the minute, still developing his game. Rashford's just not firing at all. He looks better, but he looks missing still. Højlund just isn't getting the goals in the Premier League. He looks good. He looks like we've got something about him. He's getting them in the Champions League at the moment, but he's just not getting them in the Premier League. And we need them in the Premier League. We need him to score 20, 30 goals. These are what our strikers should be doing. 20, 30 goals a season, no matter what. If you're a United striker, you should be getting them goals. Yeah, we've got Martial sat on the bench, but he's not going to play, is he? And if he does, then he's not going to be scoring those goals because he's not getting all the games. And I think he has a better finishing rate than Rashford. Which, let you think about that. Let me know in the comments what you think about all the strikers at United. Are they up to scratch? Should we be taking our chances? I think we should be. We had plenty of them in the game. Just not solid enough to get those, to put them in the back of the net. As mentioned, McTominay first goal. Then it went to a penalty to Sheffield United. This penalty could have gone either way. As a United fan, I wanted it to go our way. I wanted the goal kick, the free kick, and kick it back up to them. But it went for a penalty to Sheffield United, and Matt Burney finished that penalty. Nice finish, and put it straight into the net. Next, we had Bruno, who then went on to hit the crossbar in the game. Amrabat hit the crossbar. Again, these chances we need to be taking. Both shots from outside. One was a free kick from Bruno, and Amrabat was outside the box. It looked like it was going in with Bruno's free kick. We haven't seen Bruno score a free kick in a long time, so we do want to see that. We do want to see that, but it was unlucky, and we need Bruno to start scoring a lot more and creating more and getting on the end of him and actually putting him in the back of the net, like I said. Bruno can be a good player. We've proven it in a few games ago with his finishing. He got goal of the month in September. So he can score goals, but we need a bit of balance in the squad to help Bruno be the best player he can be. Because we know he's got it, but his attitude doesn't have it, which has improved this season. His attitude isn't there still. But neither's the performances from everybody else. He needs everybody to get into as a team, and we need to go on and smash it. We did go on and then get the win with Dalot. I know I've dragged this out a little bit with these, but Dalot, what a finish that was. The spirit of Bobby Charlton was in that shot there, right from outside of the box. Power on it, into the top corner. and the keeper just managed to get his fingers on it, but it's too powerful, and it went 2-1. Like I said, negative football. Strikers need to take more chances. We made Sheffield United look good, and they got beat 8-0 by Newcastle with ease. So we should be beating them. Are we now this mid-table team? I'm starting to think that United are the Liverpool of 2011-12 when they started signing players like Aspas and Henderson. When he first came in, nobody actually liked that signing at first. But then obviously he went on to be a great player for him. But these signings, are we getting the right signings? Are we getting the top signing, the best players that we can possibly get? Or is this us? Is this Man United mid-table, fighting for sixth at the minute, if that? So let's see what happens. The league table is going to pop up in a second for you, and I'm going to leave you with that. I got 8 predictions out of 10. Last week I got 7, so that's 15 in the last 2 weeks out of 20 games. I don't think I'm doing too bad on these predictions. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Like the video, please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Thank you.